Hi everyone, it's Vicki and Natalie and we're back again this week to chat all things sewing bee. So last night was episode 6 and this was Children's Week, wasn't it? So a very different week, very different challenge. I think I was looking forward to it maybe more than you, wasn't I? Yeah. But yeah, it was definitely, it felt like a very different episode to last week, didn't it?
It's good to show the variety, it's good to represent, because I'm sure so many people obviously sew for their children and enjoy getting clothing that's not on the high street, kind of helping their kids express themselves. So it was good. It was really fun to see, kind of strip it back and see what goes into children's garments. So is it robust? Is it comfortable? Is it, you know, it's less fashion?
Yeah, there's different things to consider, I think, when you're making children's wear, especially that comfortable factor and how they're going to get it on and off easier. And I think like it was Esmé that said there's not quite as much fitting to worry about.
And Sarah said they were little pencils. Which was great. And I suppose it's true. That's kind of what I thought from the trailer of last week. Like, oh, what's going to make it a bit more difficult because it's less, you know, of a curve to fit.
Yeah.
But,
I know a lot of people often say like, oh, because you sew in smaller pieces, it's quicker with children's. Like whenever, I've not made that much in the way of children's clothes, like only the odd thing for my niece and nephew when they were little. But I always found like, yes, it's quicker because your seams are smaller, to, you know, the pieces are just smaller, but with things being so fiddly, it just adds a different challenge.
And maybe other embellishments that are childlike in nature, which we wouldn't put on adult garments.
Yeah, exactly. But I think for me anyway, when or even just the idea of sewing children's wear, for some reason it kind of takes the pressure off for me a little bit. Yeah. And I think you can just, I naturally feel like I can have more fun sewing the garments, and I guess that's how I felt watching it last night. That there's just it's a time to have fun with the garments and be playful with it,
and to work with fabrics you probably don't work with in other parts of sewing.
Yeah, and I mean I like wearing bright colours anyway, but if you're not the sort of person that's like, you know, that sews with bright colours often, to be able to sew bright colours for your children, and it's just it's
or
nice,
matchy the whole like twinning mummy.
I love a twinning look.
Sort of that's really cool.
Absolutely.
And in the spirit of Kids Week, we've come dressed as children's hosts, children's kids TV presenters.
Yeah, we went bright and fun.
Yeah, I absolutely love these dungarees. This is the Tilly and Buttons Erin pattern. Yeah. The dungarees that tie. So it eliminates sort of the difficulty of adding the straps, or it's more of a straightforward. So this is in our French Terry, Minerva exclusive French Terry urban cheetah. Yeah. And it's so cute. Yeah, it's got pockets. It's super comfy. Wear it off the shoulder.
You really suit it.
It's got lining, so it's just a little bit elevated, but a super comfy outfit. Yeah. And you?
And I'm wearing, both in animal prints. So I'm wearing it's McCall's 7359, which it's just my sort of top. I love it. I love a V-neck, and I love just like a slightly oversized fit. And the fabric, I adore this print. It's another Minerva exclusive. It's called Popcorn Prowl. Another tongue twister. And I adore this print. I think the white makes it like really summery and fresh. But just all those pops of colour in there. Yeah, exactly, I think
also it's hard to translate unless you've bought our exclusive chalets, how vivid they actually are. Yeah. It's so hard sometimes to show in photographs on the website, and when you get them they are just like an actual
So when you see them in the flesh, there's nothing quite like that, is there? It's I mean we do our best to get that across on screen and video and things, don't we? But just seeing them in the flesh, it's just the colours just come alive.
It's really beautiful.
But I'm really liking this, and I think I might sew some of this top, this pattern.
This is your new one to replace the other one that you
I don't know if it's going to replace my other, but it might run alongside it. So let's get stuck into it. So the first challenge last night, so the pattern challenge, so the contestants were asked to make a dragon dressing gown.
Yes.
Another tongue twister.
Sorry, tripping over. It was really fun. I thought it was a great idea. Something that pretty much every kid I know would want to wear, and that I would.
I would love that. I'd quite like that now.
Yeah, Tony said I'm going to scale this up when it.
Oh, did he?
But I think it was a good idea. I've never sewn with like toweling or anything like that, so it was fun to see.
No, I don't think I've ever actually sewn with toweling. Maybe, yeah, I might have done some. Yeah, I think I've made. Actually, no, I have made some like you know, that
usable
white things. Yeah. But I mean, that's very, very simple to sew.
It's still a good idea to be more eco-conscious.
Yeah. They're just. I think like we've got some samples of the towel to show you in a bit, and like the cotton one, it's just such a lovely quality, so it feels nice against you. And
so yeah, it's a challenge. It was nice. They had 4 hours to do it, so that was kind of a surprise. But there was a lot of detail in it. Again, we were thinking because it shrunk down, it was like less. Yeah. But it was a lot of work. They were sewing with bulk. It felt quite nice and methodical, the way that, you know, they trapping bits into the seam and then move on to the next. Yeah. And then there was bias that seemed to be.
Yeah, I think the two things that to me that stood out that were the difficulty, because I think a dressing gown can be quite a simple project, can't it? Yeah. But I think the things that stuck out was just handling the bulk of the fabric. So it's not just necessarily difficult to sew, but it is bulky, and that's what it adds the trickiness. And then the other thing I think was the bias binding on the inside, because some of them got pulled down for sewing it wrong.
Or sewing it the way that they would sew the
bias. But it looked like they'd done a very neat finish. Yeah. It's just not what the pattern exactly said, is it? So I thought that was a bit of a shame for some of them. And then poor Tony, he
I would have been exactly the same. I sort of avoid it myself, if I'm honest, a lot of the time. And
see, I quite like sewing bias binding. Yeah, I quite like it. But then I'd want to do probably a hand finish. I suppose maybe not on the inside, but often when I'm adding bias binding to things, I'll sew one side and then we'll hand finish the other. But they haven't got the time for that in 4 hours.
And I thought they all did fab colour combos. They all did really fun, bright colours, different dragons.
Liz's mustard one was gorgeous. I thought Mia's almost like a denim blue and pinky colour.
Yes, that was lovely. That was like a more subdued version of Tony's. That was the teal and bright pink.
Which that was lovely as well.
It was just a really cool challenge.
And Esmé, she used purple and yellow, which are like complementary colours, I think, aren't they? And there was some real. I think that's where, like on Kids Week, it comes into its own, where you can choose like this fun fabric. I mean, a dragon with all those shapes and then all those fun colours. It's just it's really good.
And promising that if you kind of put your mind to it, it's something you could achieve in a relatively short amount of time.
I mean, when
gift idea or
absolutely, because you're not too worried on fit. You know, if you make it a bit oversized for an adult or a kid, you know, it's a dressing gown. You wrap it around you. It's not too sensitive on size and fit, is it? Yeah, exactly. But as I was watching it last night, I really felt like, I would have fun sewing that. Like all those little triangles.
And they were saying it's soft. Yeah. So if you're going to make your own.
So we've got a couple of pattern suggestions, haven't we? So the first one is Simplicity 1572, and this is it's got lots of different like sleepwear pyjama options for children, but it includes a dressing gown as well, and importantly it has the hood similar to what it had last night. It's got the tie detail around the waist. And quite simple, really. Other than that, I like that it's got raglan sleeves. I think that's nice. And then just the patch pockets on the front. Really quite simple. So if you wanted to just make a standard dressing gown, you could off that. But I think then you could quite easily add the triangles. You could add the eyes and the teeth quite easily.
A lot of those other views as well would be really nice in a toweling, because you probably view this pattern and go, jersey or something, pyjama, safe. But from the little recap we got on terry toweling or how it came about, a lot of in the 60s there was that James Bond little blue romper, which looks, I mean, it's such a blast from the past, isn't it? But kids would be so comfortable in that, even not just a dressing gown that they could go out in, or after they've been to the pool or whatever, you know. It's a fun way to use the fabric for other views in the pattern and get more
definitely. And then the other pattern we've got, which we found this in a collection, and it's not a dressing gown, it's a costume pattern. So this is Simplicity 1765, and it's like a dragon costume, isn't it? With all the little spikes down the back,
or different types of dragons, or like dinosaur, more dinosaur, and then there's some views for the dogs. There's a couple of little dog versions of they're so cute. A little picture.
So you could definitely, like, if you just love the idea of like the fun element.
And if your baby is your pet,
Yeah,
because that's where I'm coming from. I don't think my cats would enjoy that. But.
And age-wise, so that pattern covers ages 3 to 8, so it's a nice size range.
Yeah,
and then the dog as well.
Very
so yeah, like you could make costumes for that, or I kind of think you could maybe combine elements of both patterns and hack them together.
It would give you the right sizing, the scale for.
Exactly.
I love it.
So it's just something a little bit different, isn't it?
And then fabric-wise.
Fabric-wise, so we've got examples of 2 of our toweling fabrics. They do both core ranges that we stock here at Minerva. So they both come in a huge selection of colours.
I love this.
So the first, this one is our bamboo towel. It's a bamboo and cotton blend toweling, and it's super soft, isn't it? Really smooth. It's like the bamboo element just gives it that real softness, and it's very soft on one side, isn't it? And then a little bit more of like a towel texture.
So could you choose which side you wanted to sew if you wanted your skin to be against
the soft bit on the inside next to your skin, couldn't you? But yeah, all of it, both sides are still soft, aren't they? Just one is very soft. Yeah. And then the other one, which this is probably my favourite actually. This is our cotton towel.
Grown up kind of.
Yeah. I think if you imagine like a towel that you would get, and there's ones that are made of cotton really feel like they would dry.
Yes.
Yeah, it feels more like that, doesn't it? If that makes sense.
It does its job.
Just because it's made of cotton.
Yeah.
And this is practically the same on both sides. I don't think there really is a right or wrong side.
It's got almost like a thicker pile than the other one.
Yes,
like
it does, doesn't it? Yeah, it's texture. More what you think of as a typical towel fabric, isn't it? Whereas this is definitely a more just plush, softer version, isn't it? But yeah, either would be absolutely great for those patterns. And even if any kind of dressing gown, any kind of little baby wrap, something like that.
Yeah.
And I always think the great thing with your toweling scraps, you can make those reusable makeup wipes. Or even just like little hand towels.
Oh, they're just good gifts for anyone, really. If you're making little like gift bags, little like vanity sort of bags.
Yeah, could like even embroider initials on things like that. And it's really a fun fabric to sew as well. It's definitely the bulkiness brings a challenge, but it's a fun fabric to sew.
It's a good one to have a go to kind of tick and
tick off the list. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So the second challenge, the transformation challenge. So they had denim jackets ready-made, didn't they? That they had to, I guess, like upcycle or vamp up.
Yeah, to use their imagination to bring colour, texture, new features to make it a standout denim jacket that a kid would desperately want to wear.
Yeah.
So there were different colours. Some of them had black, white, kind of standard. Like,
I think there's a pink one as well, wasn't there? I don't think anybody used that, did they? Yeah.
And I think Fauves had a zip on it. Some mainly had the kind of buttons and stuff.
Yeah.
But they were all
slightly different, weren't they? Yeah.
And they could put whatever they wanted on, and it was sort of scraps and other fabrics too.
Yeah, they basically had like a scrap pile of other stuff they could add to it, didn't they? If I was doing it, I would have instantly gone for the sequin fabric.
Yeah, just go. I can make this as jazzy as possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that's the thing. It's sort of like, I think kids are drawn to garments because of whatever special, if they have got like a big feature on it, if those sequins, sequins that go
like
up and down,
sequins,
all that kind of thing, or if there's a bit like of a frill, or like those trainers that light up. It's like whatever you can bring into a jacket in that sort of mind. I think it was quite tricky. It was tricky to think, what can I achieve in 75 minutes?
Yeah, that was it. They only had an hour and a quarter this time, didn't they?
Yeah, so it was like go,
isn't it? Yeah.
Some cut the sleeves straight off, some were adding frills straight away, or went down that route of, I'm not going to take anything away from it.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts? What direction would you?
I would have definitely struggled with this challenge. I think just because, what I think it was with me? I think it's because it's such a small garment. I almost felt like, what can I do on such a small piece?
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have wanted just to applique something to it, because I think I would have, that might have been nice, but I think they were looking for more, weren't they?
Yeah, they wanted like a transformation, which is really hard.
I thought Lauren's, how she did all the piecing on the back. Yeah. I thought she got down marked unfairly because she didn't do much to the front, admittedly. Yeah. But I don't think there's anything wrong with the garment being all about the back.
True, and that was the biggest canvas to provide a change on.
Yeah. I thought Lizzie's was very good. I particularly like with her how she didn't cut all the sleeves off. She shortened them and then turned them up.
That was sweet.
I thought that looked really good.
That was fun.
And that whole skater motif she did on the back.
Very clever.
It was all very well
and because she had her niece in mind, I think that gave her space to go with it, which helped. You know, she was thinking of her, which that was really
probably
cute.
Lauren, because she said she sews for her children, doesn't she?
Yes.
So maybe she was like in that mindset already. And
I really loved what Tony did. I think
the dinosaur stuff.
It's a clever move to go with something that would actually be found in a shop. You know, like it was a really fun, cool thing that I think little boys would be drawn to, and a nice contrast to all the girly stuff too. Because I mean, lots of
girls would love that as well. I'd have loved that as a kid.
Yes, that would have been what I wore. Vicky said it was lovely to decorate something rather than, you know, fully make a garment, because I suppose it puts you in a different headspace. You're not thinking, I've got to put this on a mannequin.
You're not thinking
it's already it's very. So she did some cute frills around the collar and added little heart elbow patches, probably what her daughter would really love. So that was fun. That was cute.
I must admit, for me, comparing it to last week's challenge with the art canvases, it did feel a lot more simple and a lot, if I'm honest, a lot less exciting. However, I do think it's a lot of things. It's the sort of thing, you know, upcycling a garment you already have. It's a lot of the thing that a lot of people watching might actually then be inspired to do and want to have a go at. So it's good they've included that.
Yeah, like you were saying with if it doesn't fit anymore, or if, you know, there's other, or you're going to pass it on to the next kid and you want it to give their personality.
Yeah, they want it unique to them.
It's a good way to breathe new life into a garment that, or, you know, you can give it to a charity shop and it's fun.
And I like the idea, like obviously they couldn't do this on the show last night, but, you know, if you were making it for, you know, your child or you know, a child, any child, you could work with the child, talk to them, like, what would you want this to look like?
And they become part of the design process.
Yeah, exactly, and get the, you know, what colours do they want? Well, and I imagine a child's imagination bringing that to it.
And that would plant the seed as well for them starting their creative journey. So even if you went shopping or went through the scrap bag and then, they decide. And even if you're thinking, this looks nuts, what's this kid designing? At least it's there. It's uniquely them. And
absolutely.
They're excited about it.
And for them to be able to imagine something and then you know, create it. Or depending on the age of the child, you know, maybe even involve them in doing bits themselves, you know, even if it was just sewing a few buttons on or
my
whatever.
Grandma had me doing like hand embroidery about 7 years old. She's like, right, you need a monogram pillow now. And I was like, do I? I want to play out now. It was get the skills in early. I don't know, it's good for dexterity, it's good to sort of be
I think it's a wonderful thing when children can create something from nothing, whether that's sewing or, you know, painting or drawing, whatever, you know, just to be able to imagine something and create it. I think that's really powerful for kids.
So I know you were saying you don't know how you'd approach it, but my approach would be to go sporty. So I thought that was something that was kind of like, not lacking, but, you know, like stripes, so like sort of white piped, something that like, of all the sports brands we know, like this kind of like couple of stripes or 3 stripes down the side, maybe make a kind of logo or with their name. So it's got a really kind of edgy. And then I thought, I know that it's a kid's jacket, but you could crop it. It could have gone shorter and been like a really cool.
That's a really good idea.
So just kind of thought
and that's
that
quite
would
different
have
to
looked,
what anyone did as well.
Yeah, that would have looked really like sleek if it was kind of a black jacket with white or monochromatic kind of features on it. So again, it would have read quite simple, but it would have had like an actual theme. I think when I was actually watching it last night, my instant thing went to frills. Like I was, as a child, I was very much into anything, you know, big puffy dresses and anything with frills. And I just, the older I got, the more tomboy I got. But as a little girl, I was really into big princess anything. So I instantly thought like adding frills to things. But as I was watching, I was kind of thinking that wouldn't have been enough for the judges. So I think I would have struggled with it, especially in that time. But they did a good job. It was fun. It was fun, and I hope that they're being worn by little kids right now.
Yes,
donated.
Absolutely. Oh, it'd be lovely if kids like found them and loved them, though, wouldn't it? And just
it's a good challenge. So if you wanted to make a denim jacket,
so we found a really good child. So it's a child and teenager pattern.
Yes, so that's good because it covers you kind of for that. You've got, and all genders as well. So it's the Style Arc Charlie jacket. So it's really pretty standard. It's got just a few different views.
Denim jacket,
and you can also insert a hood into that as well.
Yeah, that's a nice option,
in a contrasting fabric, so that would give it a pop.
So if you actually wanted to make you I think if you were making the denim jacket from scratch as well, you could whatever like elements you wanted to incorporate, you know, be it frills or panels or whatever, you could kind of consider that along the process, couldn't you? Which might actually make it easier.
That's true, because Vicki had said, I'm just going to do some top stitching and squidge a little frill in there, and that was clever. But yeah, if you've got it,
you can actually do it while sewing the seam, couldn't you? And then so if you wanted a denim fabric for that, we've pulled out this range, which again is another Minerva core range and comes in loads of colours. So we've got I think this blue is really lovely. It's a really vivid
true blue. Also like a borderline indigo, but not quite.
It's just brighter than your standard sort of denim, really, isn't it? And we've brought this gorgeous cerise pink colour out as well, just to show you that it comes in loads of different colours.
This is in mustard as well.
Mustard, lilac, teal. There's like a black sort of charcoaly grey colour that would suit your like punk kind of sporty look, wouldn't it? It just has a little bit of stretch, so you know, it's just gonna, you treat it just like a woven when you're sewing it, but it's just gonna give the garment a little bit of give and make it even comfier to wear for
as well. And a bit more to grow into if you needed to as well.
And just a bit nice, and you know, not too heavy, not too light. It's 255 GSM. So yeah, just really nice weight. Nice to work with. Not too thick.
And one thing they didn't cover at all, obviously because they couldn't do in the challenge, but there's so many things you can do to denim that aren't adding like applique. There are dyeing techniques, there's bleaching techniques, there's distressing
techniques.
I've seen people take like drills and
like
all kinds of sandpaper.
I think it was Tony that said, we would love to have spray painted something, didn't we?
It's probably the most customised fabric of all time, right? It's got that vibe that you can reach into that. And also this is completely giving me the vibes. There's that Barbie movie that's about to come out. The main outfit that Barbie wears in it is like a 2-piece cowgirl. Pink denim outfit.
That
so it's perfect, like a waistcoat and some, because a few friends have cosplayed it already. And it's got cut out stars all over it. So it's just, this is perfect. I'm sure everyone's planning their Barbie cosplay for when we go to watch it in the film. But really fun, really colourful. So you've just got a million options. Really.
Exactly. So I'd be interested to hear from people like whether it's inspired you to like upcycle an existing garment, and just whether you enjoyed the challenge and it just kind of inspired you in a different way to maybe what the other transformation challenges have, where they're making something from scratch. But definitely an interesting
super fun.
So the third challenge last night, so the made to measure. So the contestants were challenged to make a made to measure occasion outfit. So a lot of them took that to be for like birthday parties or Christmas or
like weddings, Sunday best. Like it was really good that it was an open brief that way, so that everyone could take it how they wanted to. Because I sort of thought they were all going to make little bridesmaid dresses, and I was like, too all for everything. But no, it was really cool. They really all took their own spin on it.
And like a lot of the contestants, like you were saying, they kind of took the spin of like what they would have liked to have worn as a child, didn't they? Which was nice, wasn't it? And I think you could see that in the variety of garments that were made, like, you know, there was a big variety. There's so many different types of fabrics.
I thought they'd all be dresses, but they weren't. There was like jumpsuits, there was a waistcoat. Lizzie had done a waistcoat and skirt.
Obviously quite a few dresses, but that I guess was
a jumpsuit from both, and all in completely different prints. We had little ditzy florals, we had velvets, we had
neoprenes, taffeta, organza.
So they all gave themselves their own challenge, really, in either the intricacy of the design that they'd chosen or the fabric that they were handling. So
whose was your favourite?
I thought Tony absolutely knocked out the park.
It's Tony 2 weeks in a row for us, isn't it?
I just thought, you know, he was again really clever for choosing the neoprene.
I must admit, when he said he chose it, I thought I totally agreed with him on the structure, and I just thought, will plain white neoprene be enough? But that bow,
and we got to see the application of gemstones, and I've never seen that before, really. That was
cool. Another very simple detail, but it just
all a way that you could jazz up a garment that for kids, and they'd love the bling. And
you think actually the last 2 weeks for Tony, then they've both been simple things, but had such
well executed.
Well executed, and have just really made a statement, haven't they?
I like the chunky zip as well. I know they were saying it was a bit wibbly wobbly, which it will do with neoprene, but it was cool. It was a really good a good approach to it, and you know, it might be that I don't have kids, but I would really struggle to do a very well fitted woven outfit. You know, like there's some pros and cons to using knit or a woven on there.
Yes.
It's a different approach, but that neoprene fit perfectly.
Yeah.
And it gave that, you know,
working
shape.
with a knit like neoprene, you know, it is forgiving when it comes to fit, and I mean, I think it definitely worked in his favour. But on the other hand, it is bulky and chunky, and you know, it has other technical
and it was
difficulties with
he
it.
had his daughter in mind. A lot of the others did. So Vicki was making a princess dress for her daughter that she hadn't made previously. That was lovely. That was giving me like a wilder gown. It was like a kid's version of like which would look nice with like French seams and stuff. Hard in that time. Like,
I felt stressed watching Vicki saw it. She knew she was running out of time, didn't she? And it was a shame because I don't think she quite executed it as she had in mind.
Top marks for going for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it did. I mean, it did produce a beautiful dress, didn't it? I think you could just tell that. She was under pressure with that.
And then Lauren had done her little kind of like ditzy floral.
Oh, I love Lauren's.
Pinafore style where it was sewn in, which is great.
Yeah,
and she made that.
Sleeves.
Her inspo was that it was what she wanted, what her child enjoyed wearing it as a toddler, but now wanted as an older kid. And in the shops, you know, they sort of like go up a bit more cool.
Yeah.
But, you know, they don't make as cutesy kind of dresses for older kids.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know kids fashion, but it was lovely that she was able to make the Sunday best outfit.
I love the contrast of like the plain white fabric with the blue ditzy floral. I thought that was really sweet, and I loved the fullness of the skirt. Like I could just imagine me wearing that as a child.
And twirl.
And twirling.
All the little
and
girls would twirl
it. Yeah, and I've absolutely
on the
loved
dance
that.
floor. I was the kids skirting across the dance floor on my knees, so I shouldn't be in a nice dress. I mean, I'm still that kid, to be honest, but and then Fauve went down a very similar route, but went for a jumpsuit, so it was like ditzy florals again. Loved the cuff, loved the contrast. Yeah, that looked fun to be, you know.
Yeah, you could probably play in that outfit, couldn't you? Yeah, I think just as they said, it was definitely too oversized, unfortunately, wasn't it? But I got her point of view though that she didn't want it to be super fitted. Yeah. Because she wanted the child to be able to play, and that is something you got to take into consideration. They don't want to feel restricted in time.
And also, how cross would you be if you spent several hours on a very nice dress and within 5 minutes of a wedding or something they come back and go, I've ripped it. You just gotta get
you'd have to, I guess you just probably gotta get over that if you saw it besides having it. Great.
Well, I brought you back up, so here we go. And there was Mia's, which I'm sure you loved. It's right up your street. You would wear that.
I would wear that now. I love it. I think Mia's was probably my favourite.
Yeah, because you love Christmas.
I love Christmas.
Yeah.
I thought she cut the tartan design on or the plaid design on the bias was lovely. I disagreed with Patrick.
I did too.
Yeah, he was saying that the red wasn't proportioned.
He wanted it here. He wanted it on the waist, which is not a thing you do for kids, really. You don't need a waist cinching.
To me, it just didn't need it at all. The great big bow on the back with just a bit of red at the front. Oh,
and the amount of work it would have been to add a red trim to
I just think the red
layers.
trim would have I think it would have made it a bit naff. I think it was just beautiful as it was.
And I can see that in every fabric, every plaid.
Yeah.
I could see it in pink, I could see it in like darker tones.
You know what I think it'd be lovely in a taffeta fabric as well. Like make it really princessy. Maybe even like a black with the red for Christmas. Yeah. Like really dramatic.
And once you've got that fit sorted, because it was quite a basic dress, as in the top's just bagged out. It's just sort of like a basic sort of top and then you gather. So that's quite fun to recreate.
It's just the top bodice really you've got to get fitting right, isn't it? Not too tight and fitted, but not baggy and loose either. But I just loved Mia's, and I don't think she got the score she should have done.
It was great. And Esmé did lots and lots and lots of layers of different fabric. She pushes herself, doesn't she? Yeah, because she did. I think it was like a rolled hem on all those organza layers, didn't she? I love the colour and like it almost looked like a sea creature or something like that. You know, those turquoises and showing the ribbon ties and the roller loops on the front would more traditionally be seen in the back and pulled out. But it was nice
of course.
to have.
I didn't think of that.
It gave it a bit more of a princess vibe. vibe. Or
yeah,
it
just looks so pretty. And I can imagine lots of children loving dressing up in that. Yeah.
Just need a little wand, little star wand.
I loved Lizzie's idea.
Yes.
So this was the waistcoat with the big taffeta like frilled skirt, wasn't it? A tiered skirt rather. I love the idea, and I love where she was coming from with it. And that would be something she'd like to have worn. It just wasn't her week, was it?
No. A lot of time needed for that sort of thing. I mean, lots of them have said, "Oh, I practiced, but it took me twice as long." You know, Esmé had scaled back. Vicki had said it took her 5 hours. So, and Lizzie purposely started on that skirt because she wanted to crack into it and get the lion's share of that done.
I think was it like they only had 30 minutes. She only had 30 minutes left.
Gosh,
and she had like a whole.
Well, she did well, and she quickly grabbed a brooch and whacked that on.
Good idea, wasn't it? Yeah. I mean, at the end, she had an almost, adding a few buttons, it was a wearable outfit. Okay, I suppose there was a bit at the back, wasn't there? But it looked good. It still looked good walking down.
Yeah, because she could have ditched a few of the other things, and she didn't. She still did the welt pocket. Like she stuck with what she wanted to show from her sewing skills. So
it's just I think that's one of Lizzie's things to watch out for, isn't it? Because it's time that can be hers. Yeah. She has such big ambitions, doesn't she? And when she gets it right, she's brilliant.
They must feel like that going further and further into the competition, that I have to continue to bring my A game or push myself more and more. So it's just
because no one wants to go on the week where they know they didn't put everything into it, do they? So you can understand why they continuously 100%. Push themselves, can't you? But yeah, I think Lizzie's fantastic. I think she's like a dark horse to watch.
Totally. Yeah, there are definitely people that do things in their comfort zone in their own style. So say like Tony and Mia stand with what they do, but they do simple, very well delivered garments. Yeah. And then others, Esmé, Lizzie, push themselves beyond like design and then could potentially fall on that hurdle. So.
Yeah, and when they do hit the mark, they really hit it, don't they?
But it's just a joy. Yeah. It's a joy to watch, and it's so great that they all attack it from different spaces because it gave us completely different looks for the runway, which is what I want, really. I don't want to see the same dress 10 times. So,
exactly, yeah.
But we've got this neoprene out as well, just to give you a taste of what this is like. Yeah.
So like spongy. If I gather that up, you can see just how much structure that fabric has got. It's crazy.
But even for a child, how fun this is sensory wise to actually play with, because I mean the little girl that was wearing it as well had started a bit of ballet, and I can't stand still. She can't stand still. If you've got something to she had the cool bow and
the fact that it's it's got the stretch to it, it's just gonna make it so comfortable for a child to wear, isn't it?
Can I wear this?
Absolutely. I mean neoprene is basically a thicker version of scuba fabric. Yeah. Like scuba's one of my favourite fabrics to sew with. I love making like a fit and flare style dress out of scuba, or you through like a more body fit.
We've got a velvet scuba, don't we?
Like a suede finish scuba, isn't it?
Yeah, so this is kind of like if you wanted like super figure hugging, you'd still be able to achieve it with this, but it just has the added benefit of being able to
with neoprene versus scuba, like neoprene, like I say, is thicker, so it basically will create more structure and more volume, which is what Tony
I'm just thinking how fun that would be for, that gathered, we were talking last week about that little sun ray.
Oh yeah.
Like here, so if you had a top,
I mean look already.
If you had a top that popped out with the bulk of it there, it could either be halter. It's very 60s, isn't it? That sort of vibe,
but you can really play with scuba fabric, scuba or neoprene fabric, and really create some structure and volume, and it's a really cool fabric.
So I'm glad Tony brought that to that. And then with what we would make, so I don't have a child to sew for, but if I could go back in time and sew something much like some of the other sewists did, I would sew a little party dress for myself. So I've chosen, this one's quite like Tony's in design as well. So this is Simplicity 9246, and it comes in 2 different views, very similar. So you can either go the sleeve cap, kind of capped sleeve version, or sleeveless. You can do the bow at the front or the bow at the back, which is like in a sash. So that would work to recreate this, but also if you're feeling fun. It's just I was drawn to everything shiny as a child. If I look back on the kind of outfits that I wore or that my mum asked me if I wanted to wear, there's a lot of texture to it. So this is our velvet,
it's a knit velvet fabric, with this like metallic foil print over the top.
So it's durable. It's like it could take like it's strong, hard-wearing fabric.
It's not a delicate
but it's
fabric,
shiny, so you could still create a dress that you could twirl in, but it's a bit more tomboy.
I would have loved this as a kid as well, and I mean, it's definitely, you know, I look at this sort of fabric, I think, yes, Natalie and stunning, but actually, for me and my girliness as a kid, I would have loved it. Again, that sparkle, the velvet just makes it feel luxurious, doesn't it?
And I would absolutely wear this as like a kind of maxi now. Yeah. You know, kind of looks kind of, or a jumpsuit.
Yeah. Even just a simple like bodysuit or something.
And it comes in silver as well. So we've got the black on the silver contrast. But good for Christmas, good for like events.
Yeah, anything where you just every day if your child wants to dress up, why not?
Absolutely. So absolutely.
Yeah, it's a fun fabric that one, isn't it? Now I've gone very different, haven't I? Yes. So I've gone for it's a Liberty Fabrics pattern, and it's the Mabel tiered dress. So this has like a simple round neckline, almost like a flutter sleeve almost, and then the simple bodice, and then the skirt is made of 2 panels that are gathered. So it's full, it's pretty. Yeah, I just think
looks
it's
like
adorable.
You can have a good dance in that. It's,
and again, so there's 5 different options actually for the dress. So the sleeve, and the differences are all in the sleeves. There's a sleeveless option, which I think is pretty. There's also straight ones that have ruffles on. I think that's lovely. And then I really love View E, which is like a little puff sleeve that gathers in. It's a bit like Lauren's last night. I really loved that. Really so
just
really, I think really girly
and the hat.
Oh yeah, and there's a hat. Which is nice to have a matching hat to wear in the sun.
And on like a little beach outfit.
Yeah, it'd be gorgeous, wouldn't it?
Cute.
So fabric, this is our Minerva exclusive cotton sateen fabric. So really luxurious, 100% cotton. It's just beautiful, this fabric, isn't it?
It feels so
and this is our expressive butterflies print, which I would have just absolutely adored this as a little girl. I love this print now. I just think it's so pretty.
It's lovely.
I love them like the minty pea green background colour. It's a little bit different as well, isn't it? Rather than just going for pink.
Yes.
But yeah, I think that in a pretty dress for a child, I think would just be absolutely beautiful.
It's a good scale for kids.
Yeah, and it's not like I think. We often have a tendency just to go for just ditzy scale prints, and I just don't think you need to for kids. I think because the pieces themselves are smaller, you instantly think you have to scale down in the print, but I don't think you have to.
And because there's so many colours to this as well, you could choose which buttons or contrast. There's options, aren't there, for picking out which fastenings you're going to use. But
I think I very much think of that as like a summer party, like a birthday party or something like that. They're lovely. So cute. I'd love to wear that now. If I'm honest.
We're going to make them regardless.
We'll find a grown-up version of the pattern.
So that concludes our roundup of episode 6 of the Sewing Bee. I enjoyed it. It was lovely.
Yeah.
Little kids week. And next week we're moving on to episode 7, which is 90s week.
Yeah.
Obsessed. I'm a 90s kid. I think it's going to be super fun. So the first challenge is to make cargo pants, which are like iconic kind of baggy, pocketed. I suppose they've got like an army connotation, don't they? I suppose that's where they come from.
Cargo pants are very in at the moment as well, aren't they?
So we've got some like Vicki sewist patterns and things. That
There's a new Maison Fauve cargo pattern that's lovely.
So we're already, Well, anyway, and then, the second challenge of transformation is inspired by Spice Girls, which is just amazing. That's so cool. So we saw some Union Jacks, we saw some like leopard print. So that's going to be really fun to see what it is that they need to make from that, whether they're designing for a Spice Girl or just led by the fabric. And then for the final made to measure challenge, they are doing runway supermodel. Like the 90s is known for that boom of supermodels, Naomi Campbell, like all that sort of thing. So it looked like really form-fitting, cool 90s bodycon, risque kind of clothes, which I'm well excited for.
I think as well it's probably going to be another episode where it's like quite open, so we should have like a lot of variety in the different things
in the fabric as well. It might boom a little revival of fabrics we've not seen for a while. So super looking forward to that.
Yeah, it should be fun, shouldn't it? It looks a good challenge, doesn't it? So do let us know in the comments. Did you like Children's Week? Was this a fun, inspiring episode for you? Are you looking forward to 90s Week next week? Do let us know what you thought of the episode, and did you agree with Garment of the Week? Did you agree with who went home? Do let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll look forward to seeing you again this week and chatting all about 90s Week.